Hi, sweeties. How are you doing? Welcome to Naya Sing or Cimnanya, and thank you all so much for all the love and support. Hope you all are doing great. I am tired of seeing people's father, people's husband coming out on the internet to spew rubbish. I am very tired of it. And what I am going to say is that if you are having problem with your family, go home and sort it out and stop putting all your problems or start thinking that black people are your problems. We are not your problem. And stop coming out to speak for black people on some certain things, or like coming out to talk to black people because you are not fit to talk to black people. And also coming out to tell black people that they are angry. Angry people is something I really do not understand. I don't know where he is coming from. But if him as a person is not angry with everything going on around the world, everything going on, like what they are doing to people that look like me, where he is, I think he's also part of the problem. And he also feel like there is no need to pay reparations and all that. There is no need to fix the things your ancestors did to this very moment. You are also the problem. You said that we all make everything about race, that during the period you all grew up, like you listened to P. Diddy, this person, Tupac, and all that. It was all good. You lived among black people. You grew up with black people. If you grew up with black people, you definitely will be a great voice for black people. You definitely will understand, not even know, but at least you are supposed to see the things that has been happening to black people. You never lived among black people. You are just out here lying. And knowing the fact that you are a Trump supporter even sucks. See, I am tired of waking up every market day. Instead of you all to go and take care of your family problems, you come out here to start dragging black people. We are not generators. You know what? Let's get into this.
Why are black Gen Xers so pissed off nowadays? You guys grew up in the same generation I did. The generation of the 80s and 90s that dealt with the best race relations in the history of this country. You ain't never seen a Klansman. I ain't never seen a Klansman. What the hell are y'all so mad about? Why are you always claiming that everything is about white supremacy and racism?
Hi, Clay. I can call you Clay, right? T. Nathan here. I'm Black Generation Xer. I guess that's what you're calling it. Here's my birth certificate date, 1967, if you can see it there. And here is my race, because we were Negroes in Mississippi in 1967. And hold that thought right quick. Now, you may not have seen a Klansman. That's me, by the way. But I have not only seen them, but have gotten messages and videotapes delivered to my home by them. I have seen Klansmen with their hoods on, with their hoods off, with their robes off. I was in Zinc, Arkansas, protesting the Klan. Hold on. Just in case you need a little video to go with that picture of me in Zinc, Arkansas, because somebody told me I didn't know the Klan anymore because they had evolved since 2020. Fun fact, let me blow this up for you. Now, there you go. That's a little better. You can see the pointed hoods a little more clearer. But this picture is taken from my camera roll, and I took it after I walked out of my house, got in a vehicle, drove up 49 for approximately 20 minutes, and in Wiggins, Mississippi. Here you go. But continue. Because I find the only people who have not run into the Klan are the people who have never opposed the policies, principles, and the ideology that the Klan stands for. Or they're so into the group that they don't notice the forest for the trees. Next.
What the hell are y'all so mad about? Why are you always claiming that everything is about white supremacy and racism? You know damn well it's like you always got a scowl on your face, mad about something. You grew up in the 80s and 90s, again, just like I did. We grew up with Jordan on our walls, bumping Master P, Dr. Dre, Snoop, Tupac, East Coast, West Coast. Then we took it into the 2000s. We had Cash Money, back that ass up. You lived on my couch, I lived on yours. I ate dinner with your family, you ate dinner with mine. We worked together, we lived together, we went to school together. Again, I'm going to ask you, what are you so angry about that ain't self-inflicted? Is it because Donald Trump came down that gold escalator?
The revisionists of history. It's kind of telling that you named entertainers that you were comfortable with that you never met either. But I digress. Let's get it. The 80s, 90s, 2000s? I got you. Interesting you mentioned the 80s music scene because I remember artists like Rick James and Prince and Michael and others fighting to get their music played on MTV because of racial discrimination. You grew up in the same 80s I did, right? So you remember David Bowie's interview with MTV when he ripped into them about their discrimination against black artists, right? You remember that, right? You say you had Michael Jordan on your wall. Who else? Because I remember the conversations that were going on in the background about the racial discrimination in professional basketball players' salaries in the 90s. Yes, I remember the 80s and 90s quite well. The rampant use of blackface by white politicians and actors. Yeah, I remember the passive aggressive racism of the 80s and the 90s when sports announcers would refer to white athletes like Larry Bird as smart and hard working to achieve the goals they did, while saying that black athletes were just athletically gifted and lucky. I remember the systemic oppression that led to an unemployment rate for black people in this country during the 80s and 90s that was twice that of white people. I remember every racist policy of Ronald Reagan. I remember him coming to Mississippi, giving a campaign speech in Philadelphia, Mississippi, at the very site where the Klan murdered 3 civil rights workers in 1964. Do you remember Ronald Reagan saying that if somebody wants to discriminate against a Negro or others in the selling or renting of their house, that is their right to do so? Or his granting of tax exempt status to schools who engaged in segregation? I remember James Byrd Jr. being dragged for 3 miles behind a truck driven by white supremacists in Jasper, Texas, as he was conscious through most of it. See, not only do I remember the lynching of my friend Michael Donald in Alabama in 1981 by the Klan, I also remember his funeral. And Clay, I want you to understand something. I mean what I'm about to say with the utmost disrespect possible. Motherfuck you. Motherfuck that wreath for a family tree you have. And motherfuck Donald Trump also.
I don't know where they find y'all.
Why are black Gen Xers so pissed off nowadays? You guys grew up in the same generation I did. The generation of the 80s and 90s that dealt with the best race relations in the history of this country. You ain't never seen a Klansman. I ain't never seen a Klansman. What the hell are y'all so mad about? Why are you always claiming that everything is about white supremacy and racism? You know damn well it's not. You always got a scowl on your face, mad about something. You grew up in the 80s and 90s. Again, just like I did. We grew up with Jordan on our walls, bumping Master P, Dr. Dre, Snoop, Tupac, East Coast, West Coast. Then we took it into the 2000s. We had Cash Money, back that ass up. You lived on my couch. I lived on yours. I ate dinner with your family. You ate dinner with mine. We worked together. We lived together. We went to school together. Again, I'm going to ask you, what are you so angry about?
You're probably going to be confused in this video because I don't have a scowl on my face and I don't come across as if I'm angry. Perhaps a lot of people aren't angry either. You confused anger with frustration. But it's as if you don't fully understand what's going on in America today. If you did, then the question you're asking black people would be rhetorical. I also have to believe that you're wallowing in willful ignorance, because if you're talking about the 80s and 90s, you don't have to go beyond something like the Rodney King incident to have full context of understanding what black people are going through then and now. You don't need me to show you video of what happened to Rodney King. You also don't need me to update you on what took place in the trial. Officers acquitted for abusing power and devaluing the life of a black man to the inch of his life. And despite the overwhelming amount of evidence presented, they were not found guilty. Now, I could tell this story in any year, in any decade, and it would be the same story, which should lead you back to why are black people so upset? We're still experiencing the same things we were experiencing now in the 80s, but in the 50s and then in the 40s. I also know you're from Mississippi and you're a Trump supporter, so this path leads to a dead end. However, I'm going to play along. It's not difficult to understand that we have a Supreme Court that's literally walking back all of the federal protections for people of color, black people specifically, that were put in place because of the racist country that we live in and can't be protected by the very Constitution that was written not to include us except for enslavement. Absurdity that, has anybody ever seen a Klansman, is comical. The very purpose of being a hooded Klansman is for the benefit of those people to live in anonymity so that you could be interacting with a person and not realize that your doctor, your teacher, your lawyer, the juror, the judge, the police could actually be a Klansman because you cannot identify them when they're doing their evil work in the dark. Saying you've never seen a Klansman is like saying you've never seen a sexual predator or a terrorist. And by the way, is it what a terrorist has on that makes him a terrorist? Or is it the actions of the person that makes him a terrorist? I could take you down an educational path of the socio-economic impacts to the black community at the hands of oppressors, but your ignorance is not my burden. I'm going to simplify this for you. This here is a bluefin tuna. It lives in the Atlantic. Now, according to you, since all Gen Xers, we all grew up in the same generation, and why should we be upset if you're not upset and we all experience the same things together? Well, this is a bluefin tuna that lives in the Atlantic. You know what else lives in the Atlantic? The great white. Sharks exist in the same waters. Now, full disclosure, I doubt the tuna or sharks are swimming around bumping to Master P and Tupac. However, despite the bluefin tuna's efforts to try to live in the same waters, sharks are predators of the tuna. In fact, often feasting on the juvenile tuna, taking out its children and its young. And the irony to all of this is, although the shark is preying on the bluefin tuna, it actually has benefited and continues to do so from its existence. How apropos.
Why are black Gen Xers so pissed off nowadays?
Look, I get it. You think because you shared some cultural touchstones and a few meals that you're some expert on race relations. But knowing the lyrics of a Tupac song doesn't make you an ally. And having a black friend doesn't give you a get out of racism free card. You say you grew up in the same era, but did y'all really? When Rodney King was beaten by LAPD officers in 1991, it wasn't just an isolated incident. It was a televised glimpse into the everyday reality of police brutality in black communities. Where were you? And let's not gloss over the war on drugs, which was less a war on drugs and more a war on black Americans, incarcerating millions for minor offenses and devastating entire communities. You talk about not seeing Klansmen like that's some sort of proof that white supremacy is a myth. But hate doesn't always wear a hood. The 1033 program, which militarized our police forces, turned black neighborhoods into war zones. Not to mention the white supremacy and systemic racism that has been documented by the feds to be a threat to our national security. And about Trump, where do I even start? His track record speaks for itself. From the Central Park Five to his discriminatory housing practices, which you can find proof of, to calling Mexican immigrants criminals and racists to his Muslim bans, the list goes on. It's not about a single escalator ride. It's about a lifetime of actions and words that have emboldened racists and created more division in our country. Maybe instead of asking why black Gen Xers are so angry, why don't you start asking why you're not angry too? Because if you're not outraged by the injustice, then you're not paying attention.
So this is all I got from this, and it's really sad that I don't know. I'm tired of saying it's really sad because how do people wake up to do videos like this? You know, some people are really very dumb. If you see the person he's supporting, you definitely will know why I say he's very dumb. And he's asking why do black people always have scar and all that. Whew, why are we so angry? Like I am asking, why won't you be angry? Are you okay with everything going on? And are you okay with everything going on? Are you okay the way things are? I mean, are you really living great as you are as you should? Because if you're also smiling and being happy, it means you are not even, you do not, you get like you live in a shithole. You don't even know what is going on, you don't know what is happening and all that, because you are supposed to also join them to, like, you know, for better equality and all that. Because if there is anything black people have been clamoring all these years and still screaming for, it's equality. And there's not one the system that has been oppressing them. So if you do not know that the system has been really designed to not favor them to this very moment, it means you don't know anything and you are lying to yourself. So if there is anyone that needs examination, you are absolutely the one that should be examined to know if you are okay and to know if you are. I mean, because if you cannot leak, if you are living in this world, like, are you not seeing everything going on? You know? And then how they wake up to, like, you know, stereotype black people is just something I really do not understand. They have scars and you all are always threatened. Why is it that a full-grown man will see a 2-year-old child, a black child, he is threatened? Why are you threatened? If you are not a bad person, why would you be threatened by a 5-year-old child? That really shows how horrifying or how horrible you all are and the rest of it. I am tired of all this because, like, you know, what is all this? I mean, like, stories flying around every time they come out to talk and say some certain things about black people and all that. Are we okay? He said we are always making everything about race and that. Now, are we talking about KKK? Are you all not seeing all that happening and all that? White supremacy? And if there is anybody to hold accountable, you all should be the ones to hold accountable. Because it's really amazing how people are judging people because of the skin color and all that. For that reason, everybody is a criminal, everybody is a very bad person, everybody is horrifying and all that. And who really told you people this? If you ask these people now, like he said, he listened to some black Snoop Dogg and all that. Do you know them in person? Absolutely not. You all grew up, like, you know, listening to this and all that. Do you know any of them in person? You absolutely do not know anyone in person. You probably just, like, you know, listen to their songs and do not know more about them. So why do you want to speak for them when they are, like, you know, like few of them, instead of talking, like, you know, you cannot even speak for black people because, like, you're not a black person. So you really do not know anything. You don't understand. And you also wish not to understand, because even if we teach you from now to tomorrow, you're still not going to understand. Nobody is mad. We are not mad. If there is, if you all the only thing we are mad about is that things are not going the way we wanted. We want the system to be dismantled, equality, life going great. We also need universal basic health care. Reparations should also be paid, right? So these are the reasons why we are angry. And if you also do not see the reason, if you also do not see reason why reparations should be paid, you are also part of the problem. We should even be scared of you. You know, you listen to Tupac, you listen to Dre, you listen to this person, PDD, or you listen to any song. Does he put food on black people's table? Does he help us? Does he make our lives better and all that? I mean, you all, how did you people school together? How did you people live together without even knowing the people you live together? You school together, you work, you stay together and all that. You are dumb. You don't know anything, because if you had known them, they probably would have like explained to you the problem, or you are supposed to also know the problems they are facing and all that. And let me tell you all something. Proximity to black place does not equal to black. You are not black and you cannot be black. That because you live or you have black friends, you live among black people, and you grew up with black people, does not make you black, does not even make you come out to speak to black people and all that, because you cannot even put your shoes, you cannot even understand what black people are. But every day you all wake up, you all come out to gaslight black people. It's either you grew up with this person, you grew up with that person, and you know nothing about black people. These are the people, when you call them racists, they tell you, I have black friends, my dog is black, my cat is black, how do you want me to be racist? I don't see color. You all see all these things, you all know that what you all are, but you all come out every day to lie about it. See, leave black people alone. You all know about the racial discrimination that has been going on among you people, among us, and all that. We did not create race. This was not our idea. Anything that goes to racism did not start with us. So you all know where it all started. So if there is anyone that needs to sort all this out, it's you people coming up to take a swipe of black people because you think that you can talk, or because you think you have connection to come out to pew whatever you want to pew. No black slander is allowed here. And that it's on period. Are we going to talk about Jim Crow and all that? See, there is something that I will not get over, and I will keep saying that thing is evil. What your ancestors did after slavery, vagrant's law, I will never forget it. That is evil. See you all in my next video. Bye for now.